Hey world, I am Tamara Jasmine, and
I thought I said, and I'm DJ Nick Hud.
you do. Okay, you gonna do it again?
Right,
Okay.
hold on. Let's get our whistles wet.
Okay.
Good show.
Hey world, I'm Tamara Jasmine, and thanks for tuning in. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to like, share, and comment. I want to hear your thoughts. Enjoy the show.
Hey world, I'm Tamara Jasmine,
And I'm DJ Nick Hud.
and you're watching The Drop. Okay, so the last time we did this was 2020.
Yes.
Too long.
Too long ago.
We gotta stay consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't do seasonal.
No, we can't do seasonal.
Too much
work.
is happening per month.
So much has happened. First of all, Happy New Year to
Happy New
everybody.
Year.
We are getting ready. Are we at the first? What is today?
Today's no. We're almost at the end of the month. Tomorrow's the
Okay,
end of the month.
so January, February, March,
In April. Because
April
tomorrow's
is
the
coming
end
up.
of the month. So
yes.
yeah.
So Happy New Year. I hope that you guys made New Year resolutions, and I hope that you didn't lie to yourself, and I hope you actually stuck to your guns, whatever that was. What are some of the things that people do for New Year's resolutions?
Working out.
It's always working out.
Cutting out drinking.
Getting a divorce.
Getting a divorce.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. People are going through it.
Yeah. Oh, leaving one job, starting a new job.
Yeah.
Starting a new
season.
business. You know, people
New
like to do
business
stuff
season.
at the beginning of the year, I'm going to do this. So I hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas. Welcome 2021. We are getting adjusted to COVID-19.
Yeah, it's actually things trying to get on,
Yeah.
I feel like winter, you know how the plants on National Geographic are coming out like this. That's how we are emerging out of the COVID.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. You got to learn how to dance in the rain. COVID is not going anywhere. It's a part of life. And so now we have to figure out how to maneuver through, because it is what it is. Everybody keeps saying, I can't wait for everything to go back like it was. It's not. We can't go back. We can only move forward, and we just have to adjust to this new way of living.
Yeah, mask up, party on.
Yeah.
That's all I say. You know?
Masked up, party on. So let's just get into it. What we're going to do is break down some interesting topics that have been in your headlines, and also some questions that you guys want us to answer. So, the verdict. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, I guess so. Let's dive in.
Oh, before we dive in,
Oh, yeah.
we're having a little sip in the cup. We're on the brown. Let the people know what we are
A
drinking.
little Henny Black.
A little Henny Black. So, let's get into it.
Well, the verdict.
The verdict. Did we win the battle, or did we win the war?
I feel like everybody feels the same. It's you want to celebrate it as a win, but then you're but it's not a win because somebody died right in the midst of what was it? They're talking about the knife fight.
Yeah.
And the officer, you know how many times I was in Pine Bluff at a party that was over capacity and it got wild, and then what was the first thing the officer did? Mace the whole area.
Yeah.
Once you mace the area, everything calms down. I don't care if you have a knife or what, you might cut yourself at that point, but mace is usually a great spread some people out. And he didn't think to go mace first,
No, he didn't think to mace first.
And I don't remember her name though.
Whose name?
The girl who was killed on the day of finding out about Chauvin going into. It happened in Ohio, right? And
you're talking about the stabbing.
The stabbing.
Oh, hold on. Before we even go in that, let's dive into the verdict. Did you think that he was going to be convicted?
Oh man, no.
I didn't either. And
didn't.
It's sad that we're so used to justice not happening when it comes to killing black people.
It just felt like he was getting to be I don't know. It was the first time, but I feel like you gotta have gotten the guy, the one that got Trayvon Martin. I can't think of his name, but Zimmerman,
George Zimmerman.
The first George Zimmerman.
Mm-hmm.
That guy, he was the first one that made public, it got big, it was national about what he did. And he got away with it as a regular civilian.
And he got away with it. I'm gonna tell you this. This is what, to me, this is this is what the justice system looks like. It's like you get caught with drugs and paraphernalia, right? You go to court and the jury convicts you of the paraphernalia, but they don't convict you of the drugs. So take that, and I broke it down like that so people could really, understand. Yeah. So take that to what we go through with a lot of the slang, from police brutality. They get found guilty on crumped up charges, but then the main thing, the killing, they're always innocent. Yeah. So I really felt like this was what that situation was going to be. I am very grateful that he was found guilty, and I study people's demeanor, and even when they were giving the guilty verdict, his face, his eyes told the story, and he gave a look like, what? This is not what we discussed.
It's wait.
Yeah.
He was looking at his homeboys what happened?
But it was, and this is my thing. You're supposed to serve and protect, and how do you put your foot on his neck like that? And I'm gonna tell you, the look on his face, it was almost like it was self-satisfying that he was doing this to this man. And so anyway, I'm glad that he got convicted. I think that if there's more convictions, it will send a message and we can kind of stop this. You know what I'm saying?
It's going to take way more convictions. It's actually gonna, I don't know. I have no idea how they're gonna navigate through this, because clearly the system itself is made to work in the way it has 98% of the time, because this is the one time it's done the opposite.
Right.
And so it's why did it do the opposite? How did it do the opposite? What was different between this moment and Rodney King's moment?
Well, I mean, it's never a difference. It just always throws down.
And even when we're diving in on this, let's just dive in fully. All these people who are still in jail in these places where weed is legal for weed crimes.
Everybody needs to be out of jail right now. If you ever went to jail, if you're still there on a weed charge, you need to go home. The jails are overpopulated anyway. You need to come home. It's time.
Even if it's medical at these spots, really and truly, New York, here in our state of Arkansas, Cali, especially Cali. Oh my gosh, you can really buy beer with weed in. So if you're in it for those types of things, I feel like you should be expunged, if that's the correct term. You're that should be okay, it used to be, but you know what? Come on. I am so laughing at you right now, because we went from the verdict to freeing everyone that has marijuana. I'm only there because
I understand. I get it.
We'd have more room for more police officers who are doing the wrong. They could get more of them in jail if we get more of them out.
You know what? Speaking of,
there's more of us in there for that than it is of them.
You know what? I wish I had this article brought up, because Councilman Ken Richardson had an article where he talked about how the majority of African American men here in the state of Arkansas are the number one targets when getting pulled over by the police. And he felt like the charges needed to be reduced, especially considering how it's legal and stuff now.
I will agree to that.
I agree to that. It's legal, and what's happening is a lot of these black men are getting records which follows them for the rest of their life. So
I am one.
Definitely, Councilman Ken Richardson, we definitely support you on that. I think it's amazing that you're pushing that. So unfortunately, we have to talk about the celebrity deaths that have happened.
So, on a turn down memory lane, we will think of, I'm going to start with our boy Darkman X, DMX.
Oh my God.
Man, come on.
Just for him.
I just felt like I had to let that out.
Can I share a DMX story real quick?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
I do.
So this is something that I don't know how to feel about this. So literally the week before he passed, he felt in my spirit, because I've been a fan of his since he's come out. I love his music. I think he's absolutely anointed. There'll never be another one. Period.
Like
he goes in that
oh,
status like there'll never be another one. And so he fell in my spirit, and I thought to myself, I was like, you should like reach out to his camp and try to do an interview, right? This is what I'm saying. I'm like, you should do it. And
I'm saying she should do it.
The self-doubt kicks in, and we talk ourselves out of it, and I'm just like, you know, that's DMX, me. He's not gonna do, you know what I'm saying, an interview with me. You know what I'm saying? And then literally 72 hours, like literally 72 hours later, he went into a coma. And I was like, what happened? One, if I could have had the conversation with him.
What could have unraveled the other way?
What could have, it's crazy, but he is a legend.
Man.
He was anointed. Like, he was so anointed. I feel like if DMX would have opened up a church, he would have had a huge following. That congregation would have been off the chain because he just had it. Like, there are some people in life where when they walk in a room, they just stand out. And it's like that God-given gift. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're born with it. You can't pay for it. Yeah. You can't learn how to do it. It's just a light that you have. And he had it. Yeah.
RIPX.
RIPX. Then, in the same week, we lose another rapper. Black Rob.
Oh my gosh. I remember. Hold on, guys.
Yeah.
Whoa, for real. Because I watched a video of him crying over DMX, and everyone, even myself, said it doesn't look good for Black Rob. And then boom, he was gone.
He was gone. Another thing, another message to all of us, and especially to Black men. He was in kidney failure, which to me, to be 51 years old and kidney failure, that's really young. Although there have been people that have been in kidney failure much younger. But I'm tired of seeing so many of our Black men, you know, die to health issues, you know, that could possibly have been avoided if we,
prevention.
You know, ate better, rest, proper diet, you know what I'm saying, exercise. So, but he was talented. He was a great lyricist, and I had to see him go. Yeah, but he's at peace. He's on the other side. I'm sure if he was asked, "Do you want to come back?" he would be like, "Nah." Yeah, like, "Nah, I'm good." Nah, I'm good. We have,
you know. Oh man, I was about to talk about the Ivories, right? Mm-hmm. And where did I get that lingo from? Another person who we lost, Shock G.
Oh my God. Legendary. If those of you, some people may not know who Shock G is, so let them know who he is.
Shock G of Digital Underground. He was a very smooth, cool rapper. Not only that, but he was a geek for music.
He reminds you of, okay, I'm not saying he is, but you know, every artist has a similarity from another artist, right? George Clinton. He was our George Clinton.
He was just missing some boots with some fish in the bottom.
Absolutely.
He definitely, oh my gosh, that's perfect. That was the perfect, like
man, I know music.
Kid.
I ain't no DJ or nothing, but I know music.
Hey,
so,
no, Shock G was dope though, for real.
Yeah.
He was smooth though, and he had the Humpty dance.
He had the Humpty dance, and telling people we would not, if it wasn't for Shock G, we would have never been introduced to one of the drum roll's greatest rappers of all time.
Our boy Tupac.
Oh
my God.
Yeah, he was the one that
I get around. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love that song so much. That was my song.
To this day, same song. Remember All Around the World? Yeah. Tupac, when he came out on that, I think they were carrying him on the chair, if I can remember the video, he delivered a verse that just went hard. And he didn't have like a long verse on it, but he just maximized it. Did I say that right?
Maximize.
I made that up. Keto, I really want you to take that out the video. Maximize. Yeah, see, this is what happened. I did this with the last one.
I love it.
And I messed up the word.
I'm there though because I definitely was thinking like.
I'm sorry.
That's
Maximize.
Maximize. All right.
I do have a college degree, people. I can't speak. I don't know what happened. My nephew is throwing me off. Really, my nephew is behind the camera,
yes,
and he keep doing random stuff. Yes. And me and Nick are trying to concentrate on the camera.
While he's on his leg and everything. I'm like.
If you see, it's just a lot going on. But anyway, rest in peace, Shaq.
Oh, hold on now. I gotta take us to a meme that I ran across on Snoop Dogg's page.
Okay.
And it said, if Tupac was to come alive today, who would you say is the best rapper now?
Kendrick Lamar. For me.
For you? You'd say Kendrick?
I would say Kendrick.
So I was torn. You know why? Because I feel like from where he left off at and from where hip hop is now, it's too diverse to just point one person out. Like we got sing rapping, we got
drop names in. So you have to throw Kendrick out there.
I would throw Kendrick, Cole, Drake, Kanye.
Drake. Yes.
Definitely Kanye.
Yes.
Matter of fact, I would put Kanye, like, that'd be the first person I'd introduce him to. Because I feel like that was that was the switching point.
Little Baby.
Yeah, because then we can go to
he did,
Future too. I would definitely introduce him to Future.
I would definitely have to put him. So, you know what? When I hear
and
Future,
Thug.
I hear
oh my God.
Hey, like Future's voice. Okay, so you have Mary J. Blige that we can feel her when Future raps. Like we can feel him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm with that.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Him, man, what's that guy's name? Sheesh. Oh man, I can't even think of everybody's name. So let me just keep going through my list. Young Thug, I would definitely introduce them to each other because Thug went through a different path than anybody else in rap, in my opinion. So it was like, man, my pop's not here, so they got to meet in heaven. So
I know, but I feel like
I would love for them to have met too, yeah. But that 50 wasn't around for Pac, huh? We might have met in like some crossing when he was like young kid.
I think probably met in some crossing, absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
but you know what? Devin, the dude. So let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Let me just take a minute just to give Devin his props. Before we go to the next subject, he's like the unknown but known.
The most known unknown?
The most known unknown. Did I do it again?
No, you almost did though, but you got it.
Okay. So I would throw that out. But anyhow,
I'm with it though.
Yeah.
I give that to him.
I would definitely do that. We have some more VIPs. Also, we lost Cicely Tyson.
Oh.
Mother.
Yeah.
Mother. Cicely Tyson was iconic, and she broke so many barriers. She's an example of how the work speaks for itself. Like, number one, she's absolutely beautiful. But, sometimes there's this barrier that we deal with colorism, and you have to look a certain way and your skin tone has to be a certain color. She won the world over just with pure talent and work ethic. And so many actresses, I'm not even going to limit it to like black actresses, but so many actresses stand on her shoulders. So we lost a living legend. I'm glad that so many people gave her roses while she was here on earth. So she knows she was loved. And you know what? Definitely a shout out to Tyler Perry, because a lot of his movies, he had her in there. And I think that was wonderful. So
it was needed too.
It was needed.
A lot of the younger generation remember her as the grandma, or the great grandma in those situations.
Yeah.
So it's like, thank you.
Thank you for that. And then also founding member of the Supremes, Miss Mary.
Oh yes.
Yeah, and she was just here in Arkansas doing a concert in 2020 before the corona thing before it hit. So definitely, rest in peace to all of those. So
let's drink to our lost one.
Oh my God!
You guys rest in heaven.
Rest in heaven. So what do we have where's our list?
Let's get the list going.
The people want to know the information. They've been waiting.
All right. So first question they asked: are black women difficult?
Yes.
Yes.
I think that's a topic that we should save for last.
Later, yeah.
But,
okay. Well, let's slide on down the list.
There are reasons, and I'm not justifying
No, we're gonna
behavior,
wait. We're gonna wait. We're gonna save
fine.
that for the
Okay,
end. Let's
we'll
slide.
save it for the end.
Let's go into this here Asian hate.
Okay.
What is happening here? So apparently there has been a spike. So I don't even know who's the one taking the statistics.
Right.
But a spike in hate crimes towards people of Asian descent.
Correct.
Or, basically.
And a lot of that happened like when the
coronavirus.
they were calling it the Asian disease, the Chinese. And you know who started that?
Old Orange, that was in charge.
He did.
Commander Orange.
He did. He started that. So this is my take. This is my take. I am not in support on anybody being mistreated.
No,
it
that's
doesn't matter
100%.
race or gender. I'm not supporting that.
Me either.
So it's unfortunate that they, had to deal with that. However,
this is not. Remember now, we do not support or condone any type of hate in any kind of way. So when we break down our analysis of Asian hate, the hashtag, remember we are not saying anything about we feel like we're superior or inferior in any way. Everyone's equal. So now let's dive in.
Before we dive in it, I think that this time is the perfect time for us to do I don't pose a threat. Smile. You're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm still black though. But anyway, Asian hate.
My nephew is doing the most over here.
He's Harlem shaking. He's over here hitting us with the
right.
crump. I saw him crumping.
I saw him doing everything. Okay, so, however, I want to say this. Black people have been mistreated and been going through hell for over 400 years.
That's true.
And it seems like it's still not slowing down.
You would think that with all of the attention that came from George Floyd's case and the slowdown of everything, all the distractions came down, and all that was left was the exposed nastiness of America, right? And you would think that the first order of business, after seeing so many outcries from people who you call your citizens, saying we need some kind of stop black hate because Black Lives Matter, and instead you pass something for 30 seconds of Asian hate. And that's not even me being mad. Like, I'm not even mad at it.
No, and we're not mad
but
at
just
it.
Like,
we're not mad at it, but it's just
where's ours?
We want it to stop
Where's
on our side.
Ours?
We want some repercussions for the bad behavior.
Where's the, like, listen to the names. Like, we can go Philando Castile. We can go Mike Brown. We can go. There's videos of people that were just walking away. We got videos of actual people, white people walking up to them with knives and guns and shit, not getting hurt in any kind of way. Well, we could be walking away in the middle of a Wendy's parking lot and get killed. Or tell the guy, hey, I have a license to carry and my gun is here. I'm gonna reach for it to show you the actual license. I'm not moving fast. Philando Castile got shot with his daughter in the back seat. I got kids. You don't think I think about that shit too? Like, that's America's a letdown when it comes to being black.
Well,
and that's just from my perspective.
It goes deeper than that, and this is where I say it goes deeper than that.
We gotta uproot it all.
There is something.
That sounds
when
bad.
It comes
sounds bad.
But here's the thing. Hold on. There's something that happens when it comes to a black person, especially a black man, where there is a threat and there is a sense of I'm nervous and I don't know how to react. And I use this point in case. The woman was a sergeant. She had been on the police force for 26 years, and she said, "Taser, taser," and she pulled her gun. A gun and a taser look like two different things. They weigh
two different things.
Two different things. But there's something about it, even when the.
And I honestly, okay, so I posed this question.
Hold on, let me finish. The basis of this is that they feel threatened. So now, what is it that needs to be done that stops other nationalities feeling threatened by us. And let me say this. It doesn't matter how you look. It doesn't matter what kind of car you drive. It doesn't matter where you live, okay? It doesn't matter how much money you have. Your skin complexion is a threat. So the deeper hold to this is how do we stop the threat?
The problem is interwoven in everything. But my question is, at what point does that part of the game stop? Because everybody else is playing I only have to abide by my God's rules, right? But us as black people have to abide by our God's rules and the rules of Babylon, is what we would say in Jamaica.
But it's not.
Hold on, let me just say it this way. And that becomes the biggest stressor, because now you have to be two different people. You have to be a cultural person, and then you have to also be this. You know what? There's a good movie about this. You guys should watch it. There's one called Woke. It's a TV series about a cartoonist that's black that said, hey, I'm a cartoonist. I keep it light to white. That's how he thought until something happened to him and he realized that he was black AF. So, in these moments, I realized that the only change that can really happen and truly happen is for us to do like what we have done with YouTube, which is flood with great things. So we need more people that can go in and take up these Senate seats that are actually on our team. We need more people that are running for governor and mayor and freaking even the sheriff. People who need to care about the community, because once we build the community and the foundation of a community, which is like our tribe, if we have a good tribe and a good knit, knowing that we got at least 5 or 6 good people in place, because a lot of these places only need like 5 or 6. Good people in place to really get the work done as a long spear of power. We can get things done, but if everybody on some like me shit and not we shit, it gets really hard.
I hear all of that.
But that's the only way I see it.
We can fill those seats. We can, when Trump got in, he put all of those judges in place. But what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, it will not stop until one, there is a repercussion for the action, and for number 2, for the threat to be removed. Why is it that when you approach a situation dealing with black people, you automatically go for it's like even before they touch they're automatically here. So how do we break that?
I don't know.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Let me tell you something. I don't know. Do you know?
I'm going to use an example.
But do you know how to stop it? Because I don't.
Here's the thing.
I've watched it, the cycle repeat. I've lived long enough to watch it happen the first time,
but here's
and
the
then
thing.
Watch it happen.
For those that think that it doesn't exist,
times
look at all of the
after.
people that have gone on and they have shot up schools, and yet the police will still come and arrest them in handcuffs and they're alive. Just the white gentleman. The white guy, not a gentleman. The white guy that shot up the church, they stopped him to get some food. You just slaughtered a church congregation, and you stop and get him some food. So
ask yourself,
it's a threat.
What could you have done in the timeline of that young white guy's life that was so-called troubled, that made him do what he did, as the articles would say, as in my terms, a guy who was clearly brought up in a racist situation, that was taught to, hey, if you do it, like, you'll be held a king, because clearly that's how he was treated afterwards.
But
right?
Again,
is it no different?
But they weren't threatened by him. But they're not threatened. A person can shoot up a movie theater and you're not threatened.
But is it not any different than when we dealt with 9/11, and then you had people of Pakistan and Afghanistan descent that were also cool with and around people who were a part of the Taliban. So they weren't over there like, let's snitch out our Taliban dude, were they? No, they were like, I'd rather stick with the devil I know than the devil I don't. Like, let's get rid of them. And that's what was happening with that situation. Where's our situation like that? At what moment have we fought for that shit? For real.
Well, for one,
it's either gonna take that, it's either gonna take an uprising, or it's gonna take us doing it the safe and
they will have to do do the work, because here's the thing: we've been working for 400 years on ourselves, so there's nothing. They're gonna have to do the work. They're gonna have to soul search, and they're gonna have to figure out what is it about us. Well, we've already said that they're not being held accountable.
But who is going to?
The jury, the judge.
So we're just gonna leave it up to God.
I didn't say God. I said the jury, the judge.
Oh, so we're saying we're voting some judges in? There's gonna be
a lot of them. One thing, let me tell you something, and this is what you have to know. When Trump got in office, he got busy. He was putting those judges in them seats quick.
Shoot, man. It just feels like we took 100 steps backwards, and it sucks. So I don't want to talk about that now.
Yeah, I was about to say, we gotta move on.
Let's move on. What are we on? Let's go to, some great TV shows that really came out. Or not even just came out, that just continued along on our journey.
Yes, and it has been wonderful because we've all still been in the house somewhat due to Corona. Glad that the world is opening back up. We need the economy open. We need to make money. But while I have been chilling in the house, I have been catching up on some amazing shows. This is my show that I'm going to start with. It is called Ruthless. It's on BET Plus by Tyler Perry. Oh my God. So let me say this. If you have not seen Ruthless, you need to see it. So it's talking about like the Jim Jones, Charles Manson type cult leader type stuff. And it is so good because here's the thing. A lot of people don't understand that cults exist.
Yeah, they do.
And they play on people's mind frame, usually people that are troubled or, you know what I'm saying, feeling a different kind of way.
I think anybody can fall for a cult if you're not careful.
If you're not careful, you can. You
could be accidentally roped into one. You don't even know. You might be in one right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, let me say this, and some folks gonna be mad at me, but you know, it's some polyamorous relationships out here, you know, that get kind of culty.
I feel like that word came out, and it was like, well, what happened to toxic masculinity? Because that was what it was before, wasn't it?
No, okay.
Being a toxic man.
Some people
acting
do that.
mannish, and then now it's got polyamorous and it's cool. But so now that it's a word that doesn't have nothing to do with men, it's alright. But when it was just men that was doing it.
No, not necessarily. This is my point. We're going back to Nick has been jumping all damn night. He's all over the place.
I have, but I'm reeled in. I'm back.
Are you back, brother?
I'm back. Because polyamorous, it's a word that just kind of like set me off.
It just set you off. But what I'm saying, there are some healthy relationships like that where they get along and they have an understanding. And then there are some situations like that when it becomes like cult, like where, you know, people are getting bit by venomous snakes. People are having to do things sexually that they may not be open to do. So, you know, anything against your own will.
Insider. They are questioning. I saw this earlier today on my stuff. If Blueface is running a cult.
So before we get on that, just watch Tyler Perry, Ruthless. Clearly, there's a case of ADHD going on. But anyway, watch Ruthless. But on the Blueface thing, we can't touch on that. And let me say this. Everybody is grown. If no one at Blueface's house is being held against their own will and they're doing things against their, you know, own will, then that's when there's a concern. If those young ladies went and they got his face tattooed and they wanted to get branded, they are grown. That is their business. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, that takes us perfectly into, well, wait, no, it doesn't take us anywhere. I'm not diving off the subject because we're still talking about TV shows.
No,
we're going to go right into this next TV show. You know why?
Why?
Because I got my British bloody mate, Damson Idris in it. Snowfall, my favorite show. Matter of fact, the dopest thing about Snowfall is when it first came out, I was hanging out in like some random place in like Jacksonville, Florida or something like that. I think it was on the beach. Okay. And this girl was like, yo, you should watch Snowfall. The way you talk, it's reminding me of the main character. I watched the show and he sounds nothing like me. I finally, like 2 years later watching this show, I find out that he's British, and it just made me feel
Oh
great.
my God. And you know Dove C was the one that voice trained him.
No, that's
Oh my God,
crazy.
it's amazing. I love it because I'm from the West Coast, so when they do the taping, like I see areas that I'm familiar with, and I be like, I know where that is. You were the one that introduced me to it.
Yeah? Oh,
Yeah, remember you was
wow.
like, have you watched Snowfall?
I kept trying to pressure you into
were,
it. I
and
thought
you
you were
was
already
like,
on it, and I was like, yo, you
no.
have to watch this.
And you were like, the way he thinks, he needs
Yeah.
it. So,
Oh my gosh, the
I love
ending.
it.
I won't even spoil it. Just please watch Snowfall. Another great one. Well, it kind of came out in 2020, but it like really hit
and
in 21.
can I say this real quick, just to piggyback on Snowfall? If you want to take the art of war, right, and turn it into something that maybe you feel like that's relatable, I'm just saying, watch Snowfall.
Yeah.
You'll see some of those principles there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Moving on.
So, a movie that like really struck with everybody like in a great way. It's actually two movies.
Right.
One that is fantasy, you know, and then one that is like super real and was like really like based on real true story. So we'll start with fantasy and soul.
Oh my God. You know it won an Academy Award?
Yeah.
And it should have
Good
Jamie
job, Soul.
Foxx, Angela
Jamie.
Bassett. Oh my God.
It's one of my favorite movies, really.
I cried.
Like, I swear, me and the kids watch it all the time. We're just like, let's put Soul on.
And let me tell you this, it's an animation film. However, it has such deep meaning. It breaks down characteristic traits, right? It breaks down. It makes you look at what is purpose in a whole nother dimension.
Oh my God!
Like
you're really gonna
dimension.
separate it. You're
Yeah.
gonna separate it.
Yeah.
Like wanting to live in purpose. You're gonna be like, oh my God.
Yeah. And you learn like to just take in the small things. Like I'm gonna tell you something that I enjoy. I enjoy getting out and watering my yard. So my plants, like I like to get out there and cut, pull weeds and everything. Like, but some people be like, oh, you're just out in the yard, you're just doing yard work. But it gives me enjoyment and it's peace. And it also talks about sometimes we get so caught up in our hectic life that we can't stop and enjoy. We can't stop and just like take in a fresh breath of air.
That's true.
It was amazing.
No, that's what meditation's done for me. That's my moment.
Yeah.
Like in the mornings, I just zone out. I can just sit there and I scan
zone.
myself.
You were in the zone.
Yeah. I'll start scanning myself from the top of my head, like a Xerox machine, and just scan. And by the time I get to my chin, I'm pretty much gone. Like I'll be like in the zone, and I can just go ahead and set intentions and everything. It's super, super needed in life, for real.
Yeah, it is.
So speaking of like needed in life and that we wish we still had, the movie about our boy Fred Hampton.
Oh, Fred Hampton.
Yeah,
Black
Judas
Panther.
and the Black Messiah. Great movie. I loved it. Oh my gosh. I don't even know. I don't want to spoil any of it for you. It's based on true story. I've watched it probably like 4 or 5 times because it's just like I always like think to myself like, how could you get into that mind frame? Especially when they talk bad about like when you watch them on Breakfast Club and they got like beef with Charlemagne.
Right.
I always think like, dang, he had to really play like a
he said he had to have therapy after doing that role, and he did it.
He sold people out like badly, and then the thing is like when he said that, it made me think of Heath Ledger. I know, rest in peace to him, but the mind frame, like I think that Lakeith, when he does his getting in the role, he really takes on the emotion of his character.
And you're supposed to. I think that's what
makes
actor.
it. Yeah, but I think he's a method actor, like on that level of like
he is. He
seeing
is.
the therapist is what he probably needed, like badly. And so it's good to see that like a black man is like really gonna take that chance and go do it like the safest route instead of just sitting there and allow his pride to tell him, like you got it. Because a lot of times we don't.
Something
shout out to him
else.
for that.
Shout out to him for that. Something that is so, this is a whole conversation in itself, probably like another day, another taping. But when you think about the legacy of Fred Hampton, he passed away so young. But to be so young and he had so much wisdom, can you imagine what he would have accomplished at 30, at 40, at You know what I'm saying? Like,
but that's them direct attacks against the system.
But then that goes back to killing the threat. Like, we're seen as threats. You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing: he was only I don't know we're a threat to, but he was only educating his people. Yeah. And then it got to the point where it wasn't just his community; it was different
everybody who was being oppressed.
You know, I just hate that a lot of our great leaders die. They get assassinated. But anyway, we don't want to make it R.I.P. Nip. We don't want to make it a sad thing. However, it's a great movie. You learn a lot, and this is what I'm going to challenge you guys to do. I think it came out, I could be wrong, 94, 95, but there was a movie that came out called Black Panther, and it talked about the story of the Black Panther Party. You can actually find that movie. I think it might be on YouTube to like order or something like that.
Or Amazon for sure.
But definitely check out the Black Panther movie that came out in the 90s, and you'll get a better understanding from there and then on to like Fred Hampton, because he was doing the movement in Chicago, right?
And the what they call that? Soundtrack. There we go. The soundtrack for the movie. Oh my God!
Let me just turn.
The soundtrack for that Fred
ridiculous.
Hampton movie, Judah and the Black Messiah.
Her won.
She won her a little razzle dazzle. Shout out to her. What else? Let's go to another burning topic.
We gave you some great shows to kind of check out, and we'll come back when we come back and do another drop and give you some more great shows to watch while you're at home on your couch.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So we still got 2 big burning questions. Emphasis on big, because sheesh. So we got 2 big burning questions, and I think pick a number between 1 and 10. Alright, say your number so I can see if it's within what I've made the parameters in my head. So say your number.
4.
Alright.
What is it?
It is.
Okay, so.
So hold on. Let me give it a preface. You know, like it has to have the preface for the whole thing.
Yeah.
Trey Songz and his OnlyFans has been going wild, and there was an image of him holding the throat of a young lady and letting saliva drool from his lip to her mouth.
I mean, it was just like,
and it posed the question: are there limits to sex?
Yeah.
You say yeah? I say it depends on who the sex is with.
So I will say this. Sometimes this is what I think is unfair. When things come out that people deem as inappropriate.
Take a sip. I think that's the only rule we should do. Right
now. Just keep drinking when you mess up.
No, that should be the rule to make you not mess up.
Okay. When things are inappropriate, I feel like the male gets hit. Like they go hard for him, but they don't acknowledge the part that the female contributed to it. And so everybody was like, oh my God, that's disgusting. I can't believe that Trey Songz did that. Me personally, do I want someone like just the spit rolling? And then it was a long roll, so cause like he's here and she's kind of at his hip area, so it's kind of like this much of a difference.
I said it was a long roll.
The saliva, like the spit was coming all the way, and this is her mouth, and it's like, got him. So me personally, it doesn't work for me. It's a bit gross. However, it might work for somebody else, but I don't think that it's fair that everybody jumped down the throat of Trey Songz, but then the female looked like the victim, but she didn't look like anybody put a gun to her and said, do it. It seems like it's something that she wants to do. And if that's her thing, I don't think that she should be condemned for whatever she finds sexually fulfilling, but I guess there's no limits based on what your comfort is when it comes to
that's all I'm
intercourse.
saying.
But I mean,
there's no limits unless you'll make some limits.
At that time, I just wanted somebody to take a cloth and just tie. I can't
Back in the day,
I can't unsee it.
They weren't even doing cunnilingus. Now it's a normalcy.
Yeah, it's like the thing.
It's like if you ain't doing that, you ain't getting married.
Mm-hmm. What I think is that people should not people should not be judged for whatever they decide to do in between the sheets. And speaking of, that brings us to like T.I. and Tiny.
Oh,
you want to talk about it?
Oh man,
are we going there?
I don't know. That wasn't a burning topic, but it is a burning topic when you think about it. Considering it might be true.
But here's the thing: there were a lot of people just judging along, saying, "Oh my God, they shouldn't have people in their bedroom. What they do in their bedroom?
That part doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
I don't care about the other. It's just the whole idea of like grooming them into that is like red flaggy. So, hey,
but
I'm not gonna say nothing because I probably know somebody that has been and might have been involved in it. So on my end of this, I'm going to say people do some things out here and you'd be surprised. So, you know, like, you know, you might idolize some people and then you meet your idol and they turn out to be shitty. So, you know, that's just part of life. That's all I'm going to say. That's part of life.
That's just part of life.
Somebody was idolizing Bill Cosby and you see where he is. So, you know, and yet there's good people who idolize them too, you know? Like,
but you know what?
Think about all the black comedians.
Say this though. This is something else that we have to quit doing. We need to quit, especially in our community, we need to quit having amnesia about things that we saw happen. Like, this is something that I didn't appreciate. I'm sure I'm going to get some emails and DMs, and that's cool. I don't care. I said what I said. But let's get on the whole R. Kelly thing, right?
Oh.
So, the whole world just got amnesia to the simple fact that back in the 90s, R. Kelly married Aaliyah. We knew it. It was in all the magazines, right? But from there, we listened to his music and all that kind of stuff, right? Whatever the behavior was, it's never changed. It's always been consistent. You do know, because we knew back then when they got married. But then this comes out and he's in jail and everybody's like, oh, we're gonna cancel R. Kelly. Well, if you're gonna cancel R. Kelly, you should have did that like 25 years ago.
When you knew about something.
When you knew about it.
When we were on Black Planet and saw the video. That's where I saw it. I saw it on Black Planet.
I can't.
We had social media, but I'm not going to dive into topics that we don't have to be into.
Okay.
Because R. Kelly is not a hot topic.
He's not a hot topic, but it's amazing how we are the one culture where we are so quick to cancel. Now, let me be very clear with what I'm saying. I don't believe in underage girls being abused. I don't believe in any woman, any person being abused. I don't condone that type of behavior. But what I don't appreciate is for people to have gone on and done music, and he's been the person. And one thing about it is he is a wonderful singer, songwriter. I mean, he's amazing at that. However, if these things are true, he's absolutely wrong for that. But y'all don't act like y'all didn't know. That's my thing. He had employees and people around him. There were other people in the industry that knew about it. So why all of a sudden everybody turns their back on him now?
Hey, all I'm gonna say is everybody is not you, and you ain't everybody. You know what I mean? So people be doing some real weird things, and some people go along with the weird things and be like, hey, that's them.
When you're at the top,
I'm just saying.
You're at the top.
It doesn't matter if you're at the top or the bottom.
You're at the bottom.
Pause. It doesn't matter in the entirety of it all, because we're at this point where these are, like, I guess you could say he met his karma to what he had done from way back when it was quote unquote okay to do, I guess, because Bill Cosby was pilling him up back in the day, and it was alright. He thought it was the way you do things. He thought it was normal day-to-day living.
But then that goes back to what I just said. People, I've heard so many stories, allegedly. And let me go back and say all of this stuff that we're saying is allegedly. But the rumors
somebody went
have
along
been
with
out
it.
there for years. So
somebody was cool with it.
If you heard the rumor, a lot of people were cool with it. But if you heard it and you never said anything, and all these people saying, "Oh, we've been hearing it for years," then why all of a sudden now it's a problem? You already knew it. But let me tell you this, and I have to pick and choose what I say, because you say the wrong thing, then people come after you. But this is no different to when we talked about the Playboy Bunny Mansion. Do you know how many underage women were there? There's pictures, there's evidence there. Do you know what I'm saying? So we pick and choose who we want to go after. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's this
no,
stupid.
We pick and choose who we want to go after.
It goes back to what I said about having to play two separate games, right? There's the game of whatever the laws and rules that make you have to say that this is right or this is wrong. And then there's actual, like, morale sense that says, like, yo, this is right and this is wrong. Like, literally, you'd be like, yo, there's no reason a child should be doing grown people stuff with a grown man. It's on the grown man that should have more control over himself than on the young child, who is actually no different than watching Lion King, or like something where the lion is attacking a little baby fawn that just was born. That mug doesn't know to run away yet, so that's why it went after it. It was an easy kill. Don't look at it from the perspective of the fawn not being able to run away. It's actually the lion that should have known not to kill it. But what does a lion do? Kill what it wants. And we're back.
We are back and we're black, in the words of Michael Collier.
You feel me?
We're black. I love you too. Okay.
Cheers.
Okay.
All right. The last topic of the day.
And can I just give the disclaimer? For those of you that feel like me and Nick be at each other's throats, we really do, but this is like our everyday conversation. It gets heated. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we disagree, but it's never anything that is like a real life issue.
No, it's just like, you know what? Well, you think this way, I think this way, and that's cool.
Yeah, and that's cool. So
you wanna play spades?
Yeah. You wanna drink? Yeah, that's
so. Yeah, so the burning topic for this one that might get us going.
Oh God, your DMs are gonna be popping after this too. Because I'm telling you, I post stuff and then people be in my DMs and they be like, and you said such and such, and I feel, and yeah.
Well, y'all are gonna feel a way about me on this one, because I feel a way about this.
Oh God.
Are black women difficult? Bum bum bum. Which is ultimately like a layered question, kinda to me.
Okay, so.
Cause we're talking like.
Why? Okay, first
situational.
of all, do you feel like black women are difficult? And if the answer is yes, then tell me why.
But that's why I say it can be cut in like different in certain situations. I feel like it would be like a probability of more difficulty in certain situations than others. I.e., maybe a restaurant. Some shit could go wrong at a restaurant and shit can get difficult, and I'm always like, oh, they're gonna end up spitting that food.
But I'm saying, overall, do you think that men feel like black women are difficult?
Oh, you think like on that level? Oh my gosh. As an overall,
are black women hard to love? Do they make it hard to
You know what it is? Yeah. I saw a post about this. And I'm not going to say it in a ruffly feathery way. I'm going to say it in a nice, elegant way, hopefully. Hopefully. I say it elegantly.
Okay.
It said that it was a post by one of my friends. Really, she's like a cousin to me, but she's a friend of the fam. We're all like island kids. Mm-hmm. So she posted something that said, I love how black women aren't allowing the bare minimum anymore. And I said, sheesh. Is that what makes us say they're difficult when the question was posed? Because I read that this morning. So I was like, man, is that what it is? Is that they're requiring more to love them than others? So it made me think differently. But being that I do have a nice black woman in my life that helped bear me some two nice children.
Beautiful children.
And it was really dope. I do see the walls that are there. Like I see it in my mom, I see it in my grandma, like I see it in my family, where there's this wall that will come in the way when shit get close.
So let me say this.
And that is difficult to deal with. And that might be PTSD.
But okay, so there's trauma there.
There may be some trauma there, and there may be some issues, but again, the words I used to say, and any ex of mine can tell you this. This is one of my phrases for real. Mm-hmm. I'm not paying the taxes on a past relationship's problems. Meaning, whatever that was, them bags, I'm not lifting them bags. Them bags gotta be left wherever they need to be left at. Mm-hmm. It's time for you to unload that shit. It's time for you to, I'm there to help you get through it in any way, form, shape, or fashion. Because I know my love languages. So I know how to love, for real. Right. So if you need, words of confirmation, if you need touch, affection, if you just need love making, like I know how to make it easier. Mm-hmm. But you gotta deal with your shit. Get what I mean? Like, there's some stuff there, and we all know there's stuff there. We all got stuff. I got stuff. Everybody has stuff. And if you don't know how to deal with your stuff, it becomes difficult. I think that in the moments of now, that the movement, and this is what I say this as well. Like, it's black women are at a mountaintop with black men at a trough bottom, right? Like in a valley. Okay. And it's never us at the same time moving in unison, going up together or down together. So with that kind of divide, where like you'll see a lot of black men blowing up, but there's no black women blowing up at the same time. Then you see a lot of black women blowing up, and there's no more black men blowing up at the same time. And then there's black men blowing up, and then there's no more talk about those black women anymore. And that little weird little way of things is because we don't really control the narratives of our own stories. We don't control the outlets that we're letting these stories go to. We're not controlling the entirety of the big picture. Now, hold on. I'm saying all that to box it all into this. Say this. When you are primed by television and stories written by others, you bring that as well into outcomes and expectations in the relationship, when the real expectation should be whatever blossoms out of it. And I know this because through my kids, if I was to treat my kids the way I feel black women treat men that they date, I would be forcing them to fit a blueprint that I have already laid for them, instead of allowing the blueprint to unfold in front of me and me help shape it into something great, which is the way I raise my children. And that right there makes it difficult, because I'm not coming into something trying to like you already
said a lot of together. Things for me to try to
unravel,
and I don't even know if we have all the time to be able to do this. We do. But okay, so let's just first start with the trauma. The problem is, and it starts within our own home, we deal with trauma and we do not get it fixed. We just carry it with us. So there could be something that happened in childhood that you have not, really like looked at and said, okay, this was messed up. I need to work through that. Like we don't face it, right? Yeah. So we got childhood. Then as we grow into life and we start dating, all of this trauma from childhood, whether there were issues at home, there were sexual abuse, mental, physical, emotional, whatever that may be, you take it into relationship, right? The relationship may not work out, so whatever happened to that, you take it to the next relationship, so forth. It causes the problem. Let me say this, because women, I already know you're going to say, well, what about the stuff men do? The question that we have is, are black women difficult? We will have a segment when we talk about, are black men difficult? But right now, we're talking about, are black women difficult? So, number one, I feel like we do not seek professional help. There is a stigma on mental health, and I think that that's the biggest root of our issue.
You know what?
So hold on, let me finish, because you did a whole list.
My bad.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go with each one to help guide along the way.
Number one, mental health. We need to be able to get those services. Number two, and I'm gonna say based on my own personal opinion, I don't think that there's a lot of mentorship that comes from the older generation that is talking to the younger generation. I can use myself for an example. I can't remember ever having a conversation with a family member, mother, auntie, about how to love and how to nurture a black man. I never had that conversation. So as I went through life, I had to figure it out. And there was some mistakes that were made in between my journey of how to figure out, how do I love this black man? How do I support him? You know, how do I raise him up and let him know I believe in you? Because let me tell you something, not just for a black man, for any man, when you walk out of your house, you go into a world that as a woman, we never understand what that world is like. So to have to go out in that world and then to have to come back and deal with the drama and the argument and you ain't this, you ain't that, it could be a lot. So number one, it starts with, we are difficult. I will say yes, we are difficult because number one, we don't know how to get help. Number two, I feel like we don't hold each other accountable for the bad behavior. Now, I'm going to unravel something that you said in media. So right now, when we look at media, a woman is supposed to look a certain type of way. It's not necessarily reality. It's media. It's television. But in real life, people are taking that saying, I'm supposed to look like this. Then there is this picture of what a man is supposed to do. So there's all these expectations, like he needs to have this type of money, he needs to live here, he needs to drive this car, he needs to buy me this type of bag, he needs to give me these red bottoms. It's all of that comes with it, right? Let's be honest, that's not necessarily everybody's reality, right? It's a small percentage of people's reality, but the mass majority, that's not. So what we have done is we have brought in what the media says into our relationships, which has also been a problem. Also, something that I realize is how we communicate with men. I have been in the presence of friends and they're communicating with their mate and it's like, you not this, I mean, they cussing and this and that, and I'm sitting here looking like a deer in headlights because I'm like, where's the respect? Where's the dignity? You know what I'm saying? And men, you guys have your issues too, but the problem is with women, it's like we have this unspoken rule that we have to stay on code and we can't call out some of the things that we do. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you've had trauma and you have never addressed it and it's just with you, it's in you, and then you take it into a relationship and then you've had 2 or 3 bad relationships and you're taking it to them, it's horrible, it's difficult, you have these walls up, he can't love you. Like, get the help and get the healing. I'm gonna also say this, and I'm gonna bring it back to you, Nick. I hear, and I don't want this to be misinterpreted, but I hear black women say, okay, I don't need a man. So let's be very clear, women. We know that we can raise the kids. We've seen that a black woman can raise a child and a child can be successful, right? We know that we can run corporate America, right? We know that we can do all of these things, but listen to where I'm about to go here. You hear so many women, black women say, I don't need a man, right? Rarely do you hear a man says he doesn't need a woman. Regardless of how strong he is, regardless of what he can do, he never considers his life without companionship. I tried to break down a lot of the topics that you said.
You went through it nicely.
So back on you with that.
Well, the way I will dive in on that last part.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we don't think that way. We honestly do. I used to say this to my homeboys when we were kids. I said, we do everything to get the attention of a woman, and they do everything to deny the attention of us. And that's just how I felt as a middle school kid. Like, we're not talking like even as an adult, which is still the same thing.
Right.
I literally see posts. It was a public discussion of, ladies, what do you hate that your man does? And it was something about skinny jeans, right? And it was just like, dang, yet I see the same people fawning over a tight jeaned man with his print showing, and they're like lusting after the pic. I'm like, what happened to this comment about skinny jeans? Oh, you actually don't like overweight men. It's not the skinny jean that's the problem, it's the overweight man that's the problem. So it's like, those things right there, like, that is completely 2 separate things to us as men. It's like, okay, you want us to work out more. Then we'll go work out and you'll still not look our direction. Those types of things happen for real. We'll say, hey, I like when you don't I like you in your sweatpants and no makeup. Here you come with the whole thing. Like, I can't be seen yet. It goes to the bathroom and put your face on. And those things happen in real life. These are real life moments that's happened in my life. Where it's like, I'll say that and then it will go left. I'm like, well, I was really just complimenting your natural beauty, but clearly I should have been complimenting the effort you put in to make yourself look better. You know,
well, a woman wants to feel recognized, but I get what
you get what I'm saying.
I
I sit back and I say, hey, I didn't request that extra work you put in. Why did you do it if you don't even like it? And there will not be an answer. It's just like, I tried it. I wanted to try it, or I wanted to do this for me. And it's like, okay, so then let's flip the script.
Can I say something real quick? We're gonna come back to this. I would like you guys to drop me and Nick a line, because this is something that I want to ask every woman. Every woman. I know that you can raise the children by yourself, but my question is, do you want to? Like, I know that you can live a blessed life by yourself with no companionship, but my question is, deep down inside, are you okay with living the rest of your life by yourself? Okay. It's on you.
That's hard
it's
to
on
even
you,
answer about.
But what society pushes this narrative is that you don't need a man. We don't. But here's the thing: we do. We want a man.
But that might be the plan.
Unless you have a religious
conspiracy hat alert. Conspiracy hat alert.
Companion.
They want to dismantle. I don't remember if I said this when my son was born, but I definitely at the hospital was treated like a has-been. Like, they didn't care about my input on anything that would pertain to the baby. It was almost like the baby wasn't mine. Up until one nurse was nice enough to let me push my son along to the new room. That was the only moment that I was even acknowledged in the room at the hospital as the father. So I know I have other friends that have had that same experience. But what I'm going through with my conspiracy hat alert is that might be the play. Because if you notice, if you've ever watched a commercial on TV, and everyone has, white family alerts are everywhere.
Correct.
They show the whole family together playing in the yard. But when you see a black commercial, it's always like a mom and her kid alone, or a dad and his daughter. But then here comes the mom, and it's a whole, and she's a whole different, like, she might be a different person. Like, you can tell they're not related. Like, you can say, like, oh, okay, yeah, he brought that kid in. Like, they do these things to prime us for this type of activity. There's a lot of movies and shows that were Scandal's one of them, even How to Get Away with Murder, about black women with white men. And it's a big thing. But I see it a lot, and my dad tries to point it out to me that he sees it the other way around a lot too. But I was one that brought it to his attention, and now he sees it just as much as I do. It's like they push those narratives. Even in office right now, is, again, you're not gonna get both together. You couldn't get Kamala and Barack together in office as two black people in office together, because one can win, but the other one has to be at the shitter. And then they'll let the other one win, but the other one's back at the bottom with the shitter. So that is what I think is a part of the conspiracy of running networks and things like that.
Well, let
with
me
their
say
commercials and the way they stage things.
Let me say this too, because we have to address why some women feel the way they do. Okay, so I'm gonna go all the way back, and then I'm gonna bring it forward. So when we were slaves, we know that the slave master would come into the house where the man was there and take his wife or his daughter out of the house and did with her whatever he wanted to do, right? We know that. So what that started back then is a feeling of hurt, betrayal, and he cannot protect me, right? So we have that trauma there, and I think trauma can be generational, especially when there's no healing. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. Yeah. We're in 2020 and we're still having the conversations of, yo, go sit on somebody's couch. Now, let's bring it to like the 80s and the 90s babies. We're millennials, so let's talk about that. Yeah. So I know growing up in my household, unfortunately, my father was there, but he was not there, right? So my mother had to, kind of step up and raise the kids, right? My sister and I. So the problem is, they say, why do women feel like they can do it all? We also have to take in account that for a long time, women did. You know what I'm saying? They had to go to work, they had to raise the kids, and there was no support. So after you have done that and that cycle has been with you for so long, you start to feel like, well, I don't need a man. I can do this. I can buy a house. I can run my own business without him. So, ladies, I just wanted to be able to give a reason of some of the behaviors that we have, and I understand that. But what I'm saying is that we have the opportunity now to break the cycle and build the Black family back up. Or let me just not necessarily say Black family, whoever you may be in love with. My thing is, we have an opportunity to bring a family unit. So if we could change the way that we think and break the behaviors, then let's do that.
I'm with that. I second that. Whatever it takes to bring our shit to a pyramid instead of a trough,
most difficult.
I'm with it.
Most difficult. So we're wrapping up, and you know what? Let me say this. Something that I would also like to see our Black couples, white couples do, just all together, whatever. Come with a plan, and if two people can work that plan together, oh my God, there is no limit to what your life could be. Do you get what I'm saying?
That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Treat a relationship like that's your business.
Like that's your business. Well, you guys, it has been absolutely great. I'm Tamara Jasmine. Now, I need you to do several things for me. The first thing is, I need you to hit that subscribe button and subscribe to my channel, okay? I have a lot of good content there, and it's steady growing. I also need you to follow me. I am on Facebook under Tamara Thomas and Jasmine Soiree. That's JasmineSoiree. You can also find me on Instagram under Tamara Jasmine, 2 underscores, and also Jasmine Soiree. So follow me, and I'm also under Tamara Jasmine and Jasmine Soiree on Twitter too. I'm like on all social media outlets, so make sure you follow me. It's on you, bro.
Follow me at DJ Nick Hud on everything. www.djnickhud.com.
You know what? I need to get as simple as his was. He was just like, yo, just follow me on everything under my name. But anyhow, this was a great, healthy dialogue that we had today. Yeah.
I'm really itching to hear what you guys have to say, because I'm sure it's a lot.
It's a lot, and I'm gonna
we
say
only
this.
touched on the subjects. We will dive in on something that you guys really are pressing about. So definitely hit us with some comments and feedback.
Definitely. And if there is something that you want us to talk about on the show, drop me or Nick a DM, and for the next episode of Drop, we'll definitely discuss it. Okay? Until we say. Okay, I have to drink real quick. Okay. Until we see each other again, may you be blessed, may you be successful, and may you be in peace and harmony.
Namaste.
That's a wrap. That was good, yo.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey world, I'm Tamara Jasmine, and thanks for tuning in. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to like, share, and comment. I want to hear your thoughts. Enjoy the show.